Kakadosh Boker Tov. We're continuing with the Halachot of Amirah LeGoy. And we mentioned that if the Goy is going to come and turn on the light for us, so we're not allowed to benefit from the light. However, though, what happens if we didn't need light to benefit? So, for example, it was a certain scenario where I could have drank without the light on, or I could have done whatever it was that I was doing without the light on. So in such a circumstance, so therefore I'm allowed to continue benefiting that way, and I do not need not to benefit now. Why? Because since I could have drank now without it, so there's no problem. For example, let's say he turns on the light, and I could have walked without the light on. Okay, fine, so I could continue walking. I do not need to do anything else. I'm not allowed to run, because I couldn't have run without the light, so now that the light is on, I cannot run. However, though, anything which was done, right, in the normal scenario, which I could have done previously, so then I'm allowed to continue doing it right now, and there's no problem whatsoever. Also, right, I do not need to leave the vicinity, which means if he's going to turn on the light for me, and it's going to be in my room, I do not need to come and to leave whether it's going to be the room, right? Again, obviously, if the Goy is doing this for me in my house, there are going to be circumstances where I actually have to rebuke him. I have to tell him, you're not allowed to do that, which that's the normal circumstances, and that's why here in the Beit Knesset also applies sometimes. A Goy wants to come and he wants to do an Isur D'Oraita for you. You can't just come and let him do it. If it's for the Rabbim, that's something else, which means if it's for the public. But if it's going to be for an individual, you're not allowed to come and let the Goy to do something for you. What happens now if the Goy is doing it for himself and he's not doing it for you? For example, the Goy comes and he turns on the light. Why does he turn on the light? He wants to read something. So he comes and he starts doing that. So the Halachah states that we're allowed to come and have that the Goy turns on the light, and now I'm allowed to benefit. I can do whatever I want with this light. Why? But since he turned it on for his own benefit, and he didn't turn it on for me, so now I'm allowed to benefit from it. We do not suspect that once the Goy sees that I'm benefiting from it, now he's going to do it. Why? Because in such a scenario, which means the fact that he had to turn on the light for himself, so now it's all the same halakha. It's one candle suffices for him or for 100 people. So it's not that he's doing something extra. So therefore, I'm allowed to come, and then I'm allowed to benefit from this light. Right? The last halakha, which we'll mention, is a very interesting one. Not only are we allowed to benefit from the light, we're allowed to tell him, don't turn off the light. What does it mean, don't turn off the light? Don't turn off the light means is that, for example, he just finished using the light. And now I want the light on. So now he wants to come and he wants to turn it off. I could tell him, please, right? It's fine. What does that mean? Or I could even tell him, don't do a melacha, don't turn off the light. Why? Because in essence, what's happening is that when we're telling him now not to do a melacha, that's okay. So now we just leave the light in the same status quo the way that it is, and now we're allowed to benefit from this light on the Shabbat, because once he did it for his own accord and he didn't do it for me, so now we're allowed to benefit on the Shabbat.